Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Art School Live. I'm your host for today, Carrie Stober. For those of you who don't know me, I've been with Streamline 13 years, and I love getting to host this show. It's so much fun. I've said it all week long. I get such joy out of talking with artists, learning new things, watching other people paint. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. I'm a fairly new artist, so getting to watch the show and host it and ask all these questions is such a pleasure and a joy for me, and I'm so grateful I got the opportunity to do it this week. We've had some wonderful guests this week, and today's guest is no stranger to you. I actually had her on the show last month, and you guys loved her so much, you asked her to come back, so I brought her back. But before we get to her, I had a couple things I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention earlier this week. Yesterday, I mentioned that I'd had Marla Baguetta on the Pastel podcast, and we had chatted about a lot of different things. And I put the link up for just a brief moment, and so I had a lot of requests for that, for the link to the podcast. So I want to show that real quick. It's thepastelpodcast.com, super easy. We've got 3 episodes there now, and we've got one coming on August 1st with Harley Brown. I'm super excited for that one. It was so much fun to record with him live at the Plein convention. So head over to the Pastel podcast. You can sign up to be notified, or because we launch the first of every month. So you can go there, and you can also, there's links to Spotify, iTunes, like all the places you would normally listen to a podcast. So that is the podcast that I wanted to mention. The other thing that I completely forgot about is Christmas in July. We have our annual Christmas in July sale for PaintTube going on right now. It ends today. And this is where we discount a lot of our library down to 50% off. So if there is a video you have been wanting and you've been hesitating on getting it, now is the time, because the sale goes away soon. So be sure to check that out. And I realize there's not a link on there. It's I'll put it in the chat. It's painttube.tv/Christmas. Super easy to remember. PaintTube, I'm typing it out right now, .tv/Christmas. If I can spell Christmas correctly, I cannot. There we go. So that's, yeah, you want to check that out. Definitely. There's a lot of good stuff on sale there. So I'm glad I got that stuff out of the way. So again, today's guest is Lyudmila Tomova Clark. Aren't these paintings awesome? I love her style. It is so cool. And this is the reference photo she's going to be painting today, which is figures. So I'm super excited. Let's bring in Lyudmila. Hi, Lyudmila. How are you?
Hi, Carrie. How are you?
I am doing great. You are calling in from where?
I'm at Plein Easton, Maryland. And as you can imagine, it's probably 100 degree outside, but I thought it's probably fun to set up outside and enjoy the weather.
That's awesome. That's so cool that you're able to do that. What are you going to be sharing with us today?
So today I'll be painting just one figure. I know we're kind of going backwards. Last time we painted multi-figure composition in a plein air setting. Today I'm just going to go over some very interesting tips and tricks about painting a figure outside. Yeah. And the reference is a girl in a kind of a sunny day. We have strong light and strong shadow, and I'll go over all of that.
Perfect. Well, we're going to go ahead and play our opening video and let you get set up.
Okay.
It's Art School Live with Eric Rhodes. Now, here's your host, Eric Rhodes.
Carrie Stover. I know Amandina's not here to enjoy that. She loves it so much. Welcome to Art School Live. I'm your host for today, Carrie Stover. Eric is officially back in the U.S. after his month-long visit to China, and he will be back here next week to host for you guys. I just lost my train of thought, but we are here today with Lyudmila Tomova Clark. She is going to be painting for us a figure outside. This is our reference photo for today, and just showing us how to paint a little bit more expressively. If you guys were here, we had her back in June. I can't remember the date, but you can find it if you go back to the videos on YouTube. We had her, and she did this what we thought was a very complex figure. It was lots of figures in a, sitting around in a cityscape kind of scene. and she made it look effortless. It was so cool. And everyone loved it so much. They wanted me to have her back on the show. So I figure let's bring Lyudmila back for my last day of hosting. And we are going to watch her paint a figure. And she's outside at Plein Easton. So I think that's just perfect. So let's go ahead and let Lyudmila take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm going to start with painting the figure. As you can see, is this time is only one person, so it's going to be easy. Actually, there are two girls in the reference, and I would love to paint both, but for the sake of time, we're going to do just one. And as you know, we start very expressively. Here, I'm just using my uh, burnt sienna here just to put a little bit of uh, oomph right away into our painting. So this is going to be the background, very, very expressive.
Remind me, do you thin that bottom layer?
Yes, I start very, very thin, like almost like watercolor. And I use, very free brush strokes, big, flat brush, and you just throw it. And it doesn't matter what color. I just like this warm tone because it's a nice sunny day. You look at your reference, you imagine it's a sunny day. So it will be a warmer tone all over. So again, we always remember the hair shadow. I'm just, putting like big blocks here and there. And then I'm going to take my medium, again, flat. I always use my flat brushes, and we'll make slightly darker tone. But I'm using alizarin crimson. It's a beautiful color because it's more transparent. So here we're just let's not put her right in the middle, slightly off center. And now, speaking of figures, I always want to stress the importance of proportions. So in this case, we have the head here. Probably her feet are going to be down here. The human figure ideally should be 8 heads. It's like the height of the head here, that length should go 8 times into the body. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 should be somewhere in the middle where the crotch is. And then we have one more. Here are the knees, and here are your feet. So this is a basic rule. But again, there are all kinds of people. Some people are 6 times the head, or others are maybe 10. Who knows? But that's a general rule. So we're going to have this girl here, and we always kind of put, the basic shape of the head is almost like an oval here. See, always look at big shapes first. I can't stress this enough. Forget the details. I know there's beautiful stuff going on here with the flowers, but we're going to look at the big shapes. So we measured, this is going to be somewhere um, her waist line. We have the hands, the arm, and we look at the basic directions. So we did discuss directions in our last video, but nothing is absolutely straight or perpendicular in the human figure. There is always a bit of a curve or an S. And here in her case, yes, she's wearing this big giant skirt. I wish there were more feet, like legs, so I can show you some tricks on that. But that's probably for another video. We can do this some other time. All right, so see how there is a direction going this way. And don't worry about color at this point. We're just using some basic generic alizarin crimson, warm tones. You can mix it with your burnt sienna. And here there is that skirt. And right there, we see we have the basics. Go ahead if you guys have any questions.
I'll shout them out as they come in. I can't believe how effortless you make this look.
I know, because I'm not stressing too much, as you can see.
That's the biggest thing. You don't stress. It's freedom to you.
Exactly. It's a complete freedom. When you learn to play the guitar or a musical instrument, that you learn, you've done it so many times that eventually you're just having fun really with it. So that's the whole thing. I'm not worried about mistakes, and I keep telling all my students, don't worry about making a mistake or painting inside a certain shape or outside, or things are floating, flying, spilling. There's zero worry. I have no concern about that. All I'm concerned about is keeping my figure correct. So here I'm just gonna lift a little bit, just making sure that I have this correct. Her body shape, we have that hand. Again, I have zero worry. I can just wipe things, take things away. We have an interesting face here, and half of it is in shadow. And that's the main reason why I picked this reference, is because I really love strong light, strong shadow in a figure and in anything, pretty much plein air or all kinds of different subjects. But strong light, strong shadow will give you a strong painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, nice contrast. You can see all the shapes pretty clearly. Here she's holding this little basket. Don't labor on every single detail. As you can see, I'm just going very, very quickly. Now, there is a rule of a standing figure, especially if one leg is carrying all the weight. This bone, the, what is it called?
The
Clavicle.
clavicle.
Yeah, the clavicle. There is a point where the two bones meet. When you put a straight line, a completely straight line, it should meet the inside of the ankle of the leg that's holding the weight. That's a little bit too much information, but it is a basic rule. Otherwise, your figures are going to be falling. I think I mentioned that in my previous video, but anyway, so I'm not concerned about the color at this point. As you can see, you can just completely wipe it if you need to, but I'm just looking at the big shapes. Squint your eyes as much as you can. You can actually start with the background. At this point, I'm squinting my eyes, and this background is, upper part is dark, the bottom part is light. That's where the light is falling. So I'm gonna get this dark in the back, mixing ultramarine, some of my alizarin, and we'll get some really, really nice. See, I'm not really concerned, worry about what did I mix. It's very thin, just FYI, guys. It's still very thin, kind of watercolory almost. It gives air, makes your painting breathe. If your darks are thinner, you
Mm-hmm.
can really pile on the light, but let's keep the darks slightly transparent. And you still have the value pretty dark. So
Yeah.
there's, yeah. Anyway, so here we can kind of painting basically around the negative shape. We
So
can
when
just,
you're so with
Mhm.
artistic freedom, obviously we can paint whatever we choose to paint. If you're
Yeah.
looking at a scene like this, do you ever change the background to something else completely, or do you still try to stick to what's in the background?
Yeah, it depends on the subject. If the background was something really, really busy and my painting is all about the figure, I'll definitely change the background. So
Would
because
you
it's going to take away
value?
value as well. So it's good to have maybe a darker background and have the figure pop,
Mm-hmm.
or you can choose to have a lighter figure with a actually darker figure, the vice versa, darker figure with a lighter background. Definitely freedom. Freedom is the key. You're completely free to change whatever works for your painting. Yeah, nothing is written in stone, and we all know that. Yeah. So
Well, I mean, some
especially
things are written in stone, but
exactly. Well,
it's
definitely.
not that.
Definitely, yeah. There are rules, and I kind of touch on them. But at this point, pay attention how everything, variety, think about edges. There's a lot of things to think about. Oh, here I have a little doggy coming in. Yay. He's going to be in the picture. Okay, in the video. So here we go. I'm going to put a little dark over here. And this is going to be the light part. Okay, at this point, see, no concern about the exact color. Now, I really like the color of the skirt, so I'm gonna try to kind of mix a shadow color for this turquoise, and I'm using my cobalt teal with a little bit of ultramarine and maybe a tad bit of um what is the crimson. I like to put crimson in my shadows a little bit, even if it's a really, really nice and smooth skirt. Okay, so we're going to just
Ooh,
put
that's a
this in
pretty
the,
color.
yeah, very, very nice. And I'm glad we're outside because you can really appreciate and see all the colors we're gonna put.
Yes.
Yeah, and and it's nice that it's kind of mixing with the color underneath. Pay attention to the brush strokes. The way I lay the brush strokes are in every single direction, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, put it there and let it be. That's how we're going to paint a very, very impressionistic kind of expressive figure. Again, I'm using this kind of tapered flat. Again, here we have this. And we're not painting the light yet. So we're just starting as we know. See, that's the rule that kind of I stick with it. And it's painting the medium value, then I go with the darks.
Yeah. Oh no, somebody's mowing their lawn now.
Well, the beauty of painting outside, we hear airplanes, doggy coming in. I hope nobody starts mowing their lawn all of a sudden. That will be something. Okay, so let's mix a little, again, shadow color for the shirt. For shirt is probably going to be more of a purplish tone. And because it's white, it's going to be light. Even the shadow is going to be light.
So Randall says, seeing that the ankle of the foot bearing the body's weight must be directly below the center of the clavicle was a nice little lesson in itself.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. That is a very, very interesting rule. No matter where the person is standing, if they're facing or there is a side view, that weight bearing foot and the inside of the ankle is very, very important. I believe there are other ways bearing the foot, the weight, the one that's behind this one. So make sure that it's falling kind of horizontally on that. So here, as you can see, again, blocking. We're at the blocking stage. Be very expressive in the beginning because you can't fake it. Start super tight and then go expressive. I think you'll run into problems, and then you'll have to really fake it. It's not gonna work. It's gonna look a little too contrived. We want to be more real. So here we go. As you can see, I'm not dealing with the light yet. It's still blocking the shadow. And now the face is warmer. Let's not have too much blue in the human face. Again, I'm taking this crimson. I know a lot of my students are asking me, "Oh, what's the formula of a skin tone?" Guys, there's no formula. There is all kinds of circumstances depending on the light, where the figure is, what kind of circumstance, what's nearby, what colors are there. Again, what's the complexion, there are all kinds of things. But some nice warm tones, even if it's shadow. So here I'm still using my favorite crimson and the crimson. Block, block, block. Don't be too precise. I know there is a can make it a little too exaggerated, flying all over the map. So here at this point, you can kind of now start paying attention a little bit more to the details. This is the hand. And there is another hand. And I did mention in the previous lesson, reddish for the hands, a little red here and there. It's actually a very nice touch. Also, a little on the cheeks. Again, more transparent. All right. And I'm not even worried about this brown area here at this point because that's later. I just wanted to establish the dark behind. So let's mix now a nice warm tone for the light in the face. I'm using this color called warm white.
Warm white.
Yeah, warm white.
That's
Now
one
I'll
I've
do,
not heard of before.
yeah, I did use that and I mentioned it. So it's a warm white with cad yellow, medium, maybe a tad bit of Naples yellow. I think I mentioned that too. So again, we're just gonna block again. So we have her forehead with just a big, nice, big flat brush. Here we see her nose, also the light. The bottom part is in the shade. So here we have a finger.
Hey, Lyudmila, your audio is cutting in and out a bit. I think your internet's a little choppy. So if you could just talk a little louder, that would help us.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Um. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's the beauty of being outside.
Right?
Okay.
That's
So here,
exactly what I said.
sorry. I'll be a little bit careful next time. So here I'm using my Naples yellow, the warm white, and some cad yellow to make it fresher. And here we're going to put some light a little bit. I think that should go in a bit. So wear gloves, use your fingers. It will give a very interesting transition on your edges too. And if you need to blend stuff, I definitely use my
Yeah.
gloves and my fingers. It's the
That's
quick
we
way
had
to do.
oh my gosh, I can't believe I just spaced on her name. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name.
Oh,
We had her on yesterday and she was doing the same thing. She was painting with
oh,
acrylic, but she was using her fingers to soften those edges.
oh, there you go. Absolutely. And as you can see, you can just block the light that immediately pops the light here. I'm just using now a slightly lighter version for the in between. So where the light meets the dark, that area where the light meets the dark can actually handle some more chromatic, highly saturated color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hopefully my picture doesn't die. I'm getting a notification here. So, okay, no worries. And we'll improvise after that. Okay, so here we go. Let's put some light on the before my reference photo disappears. Um, this is darker. And then you can be, now it's a time, yeah. I just lost my reference. Give me 1 sec here. Luckily I had my laptop also with the reference, so everything is under control, guys. No stress, no worry. Here we have our uh, basket. It's going to be here, and we have nice warm tones again. Popping. I remember where light meets shadow. I like to put something a little bit more saturated or chromatic. Here is the face. Ears also. No, although we don't see her ear, but I'm just gonna put it there. So here I'm getting a very, very dark color. That's gonna be my darkest for the whole painting is the hair. The hair is really, really dark. So always pay attention to the degree of values and strength. Uh, it's nice to have, 1 to 10, obviously, or 1 to 8. Some people, give a number to a value, but
Right.
and it's good to have, an area where it's the darkest, and also whatever the highest contrast is, that's where your focal point is gonna be. So as you can see if I'm losing this whole edge, and that's
Right.
what I like. Yeah, I like that. You can do things like this with your finger. Things can just fly out. Um, the light part on the hair is going to be here. It's not as light as the face. We're still staying within the family of the value of the group. This is going to be the grouping. This part. And now for the eyes, we are mixing a little bit of a darker, not as dark as the overall hair, but slightly darker to indicate this whole area where the plane goes in. So the human
Right.
face, the human body, we have one plane going this way, another one goes in. So if the light source is from above, this whole area is going to be in the shadow, as well as the bottom of the nose and the bottom below the chin. So this is where I'm popping again with a big brush. Zero concern about precision. My reference.
Love the way that this is coming together.
Great. I'm glad. That's fantastic. You just move my you can move my reference a little bit closer to me because I had the laptop there. All right. So it's really far away. In a way, it's good. So I'm not overly concerned about major details. I know. Yeah, I forgot to charge my laptop yesterday. I hadn't made it. Not laptop, the iPad that I use for reference normally. So it's okay. Yeah. Here we're going to have so always warmer. You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, it's a little choppy.
Oh, shoot, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So um, here we're going to have a lighter area where we're going to indicate the flowers. We can actually wipe things. Hopefully you see better than here because I guess the visual information is a little bit more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
So
you still working now pretty thin, or you moved on to a little bit thicker?
good question. Yeah, now that I'm working on the light, I'm moving into a thicker paint. And you just take the paint, whatever makes you have. And you don't have to pre-mix colors. I know sometimes artists make piles of pre-mixed colors. To me, that's so time consuming. I just grab, mix, and put there whatever I need. So just instead of pushing too hard, which is going to mix with what's underneath, just gently,
Yeah, lay it gently.
lay it gently. Very
So just so we're clear, so Ludmila, you still have about 30 minutes. But if you
oh,
hear me repeat, it's just because it cut out a little bit. So
okay.
that's just what's going on. I just want to make sure everyone can hear okay.
Okay. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be happy to repeat whatever you guys need me to. Here is some light color. We're going to put a little bit of light. Here is the shirt. I think the front of the shirt. And it gets fresher. The color is fresher in the light. I'm using some white turquoise here, light blues really for this area. Make sure you don't follow exactly the shape with your brush strokes. As a matter of fact, see the shape is going this way. It's a long shape. That's her arm. Go in the
Yeah.
opposite direction, basically, and that's how you get this expressive style.
I
So
forgot to ask you at the beginning, what kind of panel are you painting on?
this is a canvas. Somehow I do enjoy painting on canvas. Normally I use the canvas panels that we get the oil prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, the oil primed ones. But this one is just a regular canvas, I think acrylic primed. As long as we're not pressing and rubbing too much, we're gonna have good results. And make sure you use quality paint. I think they have more pigment, color pigment in them. So I'm seeing here a scarf, or scarf going on. It's slightly lighter than the skirt and slightly bluer. Okay, then the rest gonna go like that. And don't be afraid to lose again things by using your brush strokes. Now, my skirt gets a bit duller, although I know it's in the shadow, but still we need to pop a little bit of color. And obviously there are planes. So there's
Mhm.
one plane and there's another plane going back. So we're going to see how I pop this very, very bright color. It's kind of in between the light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the light and the shadow. Again, it's more chromatic, it's highly saturated. So it works well with anything that is, any color that is a reflective color. So sometimes the light is reflecting from the outside. And in this case, let's see what's happening. I know she's standing next to a girl wearing pink. Maybe there will be a little bit of pink somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid, especially here that we're using this one. You can always pop it in there.
So now that you are putting this lighter teal on, you can see more of like the purple in the shadow with the way that the undercolor came in through the green. That is so cool.
Oh, wonderful. Great observation. Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Um, and there is a connection. You can almost see it as an abstract design. If we put this here, it's nice to have it somewhere else.
Right.
Yep. you've heard that before, but it doesn't hurt to repeat. And here, I'm going to also pop that cap shadow here. It's always very, very important to ground our subject. So it's more on the purplish side. It corresponds to the one up top very well, very nicely. Maybe a little bit of shadow over here. I'll grab my bigger brush this time. Just filling some deep sharp edges right away. So now I can do a little bit with this ground that we have.
Mm-hmm.
See.
Lyudmila, are you able to tilt your camera just a little bit lower? We can't quite see the bottom of the canvas.
Oh, really? Okay, let me just move.
Just slightly.
Okay, is that better?
Just a little bit more.
This is better?
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I see what's going on. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a nice warmer tone. This is yellow ochre, and I have some olive green, but let's grab some of the cadmium so it will create a beautiful light. We're going to pop this over here, and with some titanium white, just to emphasize the light at this point and kind of define the shape of this little basket. So things are not flying too much. Again, very big, flat brush.
I love that color. That really makes it just pop so much.
Yeah, it does create light, doesn't it? It's so interesting how this color and that color and how things really communicate. It's like music, writing music really.
Yeah. How
Uh,
long have you been painting plein air? Because you've been painting a long time. Have you been painting plein air that whole time?
I've been painting since I was 13. Yeah. I've not the whole time. Obviously, I had some breaks in between because my art journey is long and we've had all kinds of twists and turns in different directions. But
Mm-hmm.
generally, my art school in Bulgaria, I started formally at age 13. They would take us for 10 days every semester paint plein air. So very, very young age.
Yeah. So you've got it down.
But yeah, it
Are
doesn't matter
you
at what age you start. As long as you do it often, you will see, you'll see a big difference.
now that you're into the thicker paint, are you using any medium with it, or is this just straight from the tube?
I'm using a gel. I think this one, the one that I have, is a liquid. Um, I kind of like to mix it with my color to make it flow easier. And you can, lose some of these edges if I'm just moving it, go into the dress a little bit.
Yeah.
It creates the shimmery idea of what light is all about. Nothing is a cutout in life. So imagine there's air, there's movement, there's all kinds of things going on. And keep that
Yes.
in mind. I'm just moving this slightly, this color into her skirt and warm it up a little bit on this side. We don't want it to be the same on both sides. So I'll think about just maybe warm it up on that side a little bit. Kind of create a bit of sense of light. That's what we are after, especially with the expressive way of painting. We really want to emphasize light. That's all we are painting, the light and the shadow. It's starting to get very hot here in Eastern Side. The side of my face all dripping in sweat. That's okay. So here I'm gonna just dab a little bit of light here from whatever I see. My reference is far. I really don't sweat the small stuff. I don't want to worry too much about it because that will take you away from the big picture, and you can always edit later. If you
Yeah.
So anyway, so see you can just dab a little bit now that I have that color. You can just dab it a bit where it should be here into the background. I don't know if it should be there, but I think it, it looks good. Okay, so here we have the font a bit showing just as a suggestion. Uh, Slightly, we need to indicate that shows there what's going on. Again, the plane is this way, but then it turns. So we need to show the turn. Maybe I can get a bit of a cooler down here and continue. Because this definitely, this color is so strong, it does reflect everywhere. And it definitely is going to go into her shirt. And that is that reflective color. So the true light is over here. Let's just pop it even more. The really light shirt. So again, the warm white with some pad yellow. It's gonna get you a nice warm light. I don't want it to be cut out, as you mentioned, the pressure board is cut out. And just putting the light. So now here, you can see a finger, a little bit of, now a little warmer. I'm gonna use a little warmer so I adapt into the orange, that orange. Here we go. A bit, the in my skin, especially outdoors, looks nice and warm.
Yeah.
If it's a cold day, let's say that was January and there was snow everywhere, it may grab some very cool tones into your skin tone. But there is a reflection here, and I will usually make it nice and cool, obviously from the skirt, and it will reflect slightly here on the cheek. You probably can see. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Yeah, things like this are important. And yeah, maybe a little on the nose. But let's warm it up so things are a bit different. So this is a medium value. It's not the same dark as this. Yeah, the sun is coming here, so I'll be sweating. I didn't realize that's where I'm located. The sun will move eventually, and I'll be all covered in. Good, I'm wearing my hat. Okay, so here we have a little bit more definition. Painting from outside the negative shade. So here we're going to have the negative shade. And you can grab a smaller brush now if you want to go into more detail in the face. How much time do we have? I kind of want to be aware of the time
Oh,
we
yeah.
have.
I guess I should look at that. We've got about 5, 10, 15 minutes left.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. So here, usually the upper lip is in the shadow because it's a plane going in. The lower will be in the light. So I'm grabbing my light. Bring that a little bit here. And there's again shadow under the lip, lower lip. Let's see what's on my reference. But it's working. So here it's going to be really light. I think it's for color.
Lyudmila, at what point do you walk away from the reference and just start painting?
At one point, towards maybe when you have it down 2/3, like almost have it 2/3
Yeah.
along the way. You laid your color, you lay your shadow and your light, and then you kind of look at just your painting and forget everything about the reference and think about your work. Because people will not be looking at your reference; they'll be looking at your painting. Like, does it work? Does it tell the story? Is it about the background? Is it about my model? Make sure that your main point is communicated. And in this case, it's obviously the figure. Um, what am I trying to tell with this painting? Each painting should have a meaning, should be just, even if the meaning is just the beauty around us, it doesn't matter. As long as it's not uncertain, you need to be certain of what you're doing. And kind of have it there. I'm just putting a little bit now, refining your values. I haven't even gotten to, eyes and things like that, but everything will be there in the dark. And that's plain right there. Here we have some shadow again. And
I'm sorry, Lyudmila, can you repeat that? We couldn't hear what you were saying about the shadow.
oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. So see where the eye is? It's in that
Yes.
plane with dark. I haven't even gotten to the eyes, but if I do, I'm going to keep it in that grouping of dark values. So that's going to be the group.
Yeah, it cut out again. I think your internet is a little choppy.
It's getting all choppy. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Well, just keep painting and we'll just keep watching.
As long as you can see the picture, I think that's what's important. I can hear, yeah, I can hear the choppiness. So I'm getting a bit more color here. This is the purple. It works well with the white on the shirt. So you can see how this is showing the shadow a little bit cooler. We can put maybe some color on her flowers. That's going to show the light a bit. Now a little reddish on the cheek here. That's going to make it more human. The hands. Here's the hands. Okay. Now there is some shadow areas in the actual skirt, the dress. Here we can maybe indicate a little bit of shadow right here. So I'm grabbing alizarin and Prussian blue to get a nice dark color right here. Create more contrast. Just very free, definitely freedom for the brush strokes. Um, Here a little bit dark on this. Don't worry about things flying all over the map like they are right now. Here I'm going to add some more dark. So at this point you can just think about the overall. I don't want both edges to be the same, so you can kind of soften a little bit. This is how you soften an edge. You can think about the face also as you go along. I usually leave my faces. I leave my faces for the very end and pay more attention at the very end because this way I have a better idea of how I want to organize my values. And in this case, yeah, I want to have it very, very light. Uh, the nose, the tip of the nose definitely was very light.
And are you mixing the warm? Sorry, we haven't been able to hear. I've just been kind
Oh,
of picking up what you've been saying. Are you using the warm white mixed with something else for those highlights?
yes, the warm white with cad yellow.
Cad yellow. Okay.
Yeah, cad yellow is a little bit fresher. And you can use also Naples yellow. That kind of gives you also a nice warm tone. Um, let's see. I don't want her face to look too upset. So maybe lighten up her whole. Yeah, she looks a little angry. So I want to lighten up a little bit this area. But I know these are all the details. As long as your overall main areas work well,
Yeah.
Everything will work. You guys not gonna make more party? Oh, can you give me like 10 minutes because I'm doing a live stream for the noise that is sorry. Don't wanna start with the machine. As we predicted. Okay. All right. Okay. So here we have this, a little bit of white, and some more light. Again, very, very nice and thick. And maybe some more light over here. There's always a shadow under the nose, especially if it's outside. So kind of and if you lose elements, you just add them. Um, here's one of the markers. Apologies for the connection. It's beyond my control. I
No,
happen to be.
it
Yeah,
works great for the first part of it. And then for some reason, the video is fine. It's just the audio that keeps cutting in and out.
I don't know. Maybe there are people using it. I don't,
Yeah, probably.
I did warn them, but
That's what I have to do with my kids. I set a timer. I'm like, you can't use the internet during this entire time. It's
oh
mine.
yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Yeah, probably we have a situation like that. Well, so adding a little bit of light, but as you can see, the main idea is there. And I don't want to go into too much detail in the face because this is overall like an impressionistic figure. Light, shadow, brush strokes, how things are working. We can just soften. So we're looking at the edges overall of the thing. Just want to get my bigger brush. So the finishing, some finishing touches. That could be midway. You can go even more involved if you want at this point. Here we have some more white. Just lightening up the shirt a little bit. Uh, Obviously, speaking of impressionism, this color probably does appear everywhere else.
Yeah, you need that color harmony, right? Like it needs to be in multiple places.
Exactly. And, you can kind of pop it over here. Maybe something more medium value so it's not jumping in your face all over. Slightly lighter. Slightly lighter. Maybe we can just have some light over here. And it's not exactly all over. And here again, very thick, very generous amount of paint, and don't press too hard. Just very gently and lightly with the brush strokes and indicate how the light is falling. The beauty of the brush strokes going everywhere should be preserved. We don't want to lose that. Again, I love this turquoise. I know it's going to come somewhere. A little bit of cooler tones also. Even though it's a nice warm day and everything seems warm. Again, I have this little cool reflection, a little cool reflection in the human face, but it's not too blue and it's not too green. It's kind of in between.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And somebody's doing a lawn mowing just like we predicted. I apologize, guys. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully you got the gist of this whole lesson. How we start with the big picture, and we are not very too concerned with all the details.
Yeah. We've got about 5 minutes left.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're going, and at this point, yeah, there is a point where you have to, pay attention to the drawing part.
Yeah.
So step back, look at your proportions. Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of this green reflecting from the grass. Even if it's stronger, it's okay.
Yeah.
Definitely shows more impressionism here. And here you can look at the skirt, maybe fit. Don't fall immediately in love with your very, very first pass on the painting. Things can change as you go. So these are things that we remember. Very important edges. So if you're more of an expressive, impressionist artist, even if you're not, still edges are super important. Although with our type of painting, they really emphasize the loss of edges. I
Mhm.
normally lose my edges either in the shadow or somewhere in the medium value, where the medium values are. Where the light is, I like to have nice crisper application of the paint and
Mhm.
crisper edge. So here, you can even take a bigger brush and kind of move things like that. You can just use it, maybe not. Yeah, you can always change your mind along the way as you go. Emphasize that edge a little bit. Here's our light. Um, I'm just paying attention, trying to get some of the details of whatever's happening. A little brighter tone, maybe here in these flowers. This warm tone that we like so much, maybe you can pop a little bit on the hand. Just a tad bit. Nothing should be too much. Don't want to overdo it. Nice and warm. Um, what else to do? So your eye should go everywhere. We basically looking at all the whole overall harmony. This color is communicating with that. This one is going everywhere. We have a nice focal point here. And the details are, again, I can't emphasize enough, are not that important, but they will become important very, very late, kind of like finishing touches almost when
Yeah.
we look at the face. Uh, okay, very, very nice. Brighter here. Love that shadow. I mean, the light is definitely being hit from above.
Yeah.
So that's gonna fall right there. And hopefully that gives some information on painting figures, especially if it's outdoor. And this time we did one, so Not as complicated as the other one.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
that is our time for today. Lyudmila, thank you so much for doing this and putting up with all of the tech challenges. And I'm so grateful that you were willing to do this, even while you're on location. So thank you so much, and good luck at Plein Easton.
thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Nice
thank
to
you.
see you. Take care.
So everyone, thank you so much for hanging in there. I do apologize that we had some audio issues, but that demonstration was fantastic. And I was just blown away by how that all came together. I did drop Lyudmila's other demonstration that she did for Art School Live in the chat, so you can watch that one as well. And definitely check out her website and her Instagram. Those are both in the chat there too. She's such a great artist, so definitely take a workshop with her or a demo, whatever. Hang out with her. She's great. And this is my final day hosting. Eric will be back next week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way you get notified when we go live. We're here every weekday at 12 Eastern time. You can subscribe there. You can also follow Eric on Instagram. And I thank you guys all so much for joining me this week. It was such an honor to get to host for you. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.